Chapter 8 Curiosity Kills the Cat. Stepan surely did not expect such bold confrontation from the other boy, yet he is extremely eager to entertain him. He acknowledges the differences from the way he talks to the way he walks, and even the way that his eyes dismissing everyone around him. He is very far apart from Clement. This boy is savage. It sparks an itch in Stepan, an itch that can't be scratched, at least not just yet. It's the law of attraction. Bad attracts bad. Stepan can't deny the appearance of Kirill in his life makes his heart pound like crazy, makes him feel clueless for the first time, and makes him feel that it was all worth it. "You have dimple on both cheeks," he suddenly commented. Kirill turns to look at him, perplexed by the sudden mention of such boring fact. They had both taken down their masks at this time. It was just the two of them by the bridge. "Clement only has dimple on his right cheek," Stepan added. As if to acknowledge that fact, Kirill forms a dimpled smile at him playfully. "Damn," Stepan cursed to himself. "I just pin you here by the bridge and fuck you if you do that one more time." Stepan conjured an indecent thought in his head. First time. This is the first time he feels strongly attracted to someone in such a short time, yet also intimidated. Kirill is nothing like Clement. He was never sexually attracted to Clement, but Clement's twin brother is on another level. Kirill looks down, admiring the water flowing freely beneath them. The bridge was painted in red. He can almost imagine how contrast it would be during winter, with white snow covering the red bridge. He can almost imagine the coldness. Clement went missing on a winter night, so he can also almost imagine the dimness from the street lights, but there are no strong emotions about the place. Kirill can feel things. Whatever that is related to Clement, he can feel it. Not here. This bridge is not the place where it happened. He's sure of it. But on the other hand, he can definitely feel strong emotions when it comes to Stepan. Ever since their prior handshake, it was like he was electrocuted with an intense emotion. He knew it then that for Clement, Stepan is of importance, and he is curious to know, what is Stepan to Clement then? "So, what did you guys talk about before you part ways?" Kirill started to ask. "Boring things. Forgettable things," Stepan answered nonchalantly. He doesn't seem to be avoiding the subject, nor was he taking it seriously as well. "Oh, we were supposed to go out of town that weekend, so we talk about that too," Stepan suddenly added. The statement sparks curiosity in Kirill. "Out of town? Where were you planning on going?" Stepan smiles to himself without looking at Kirill. He doesn't even try to hide the slyness shown in his eyes as he answers. "We always went there once in a while." He then turns to look at Kirill with his eyes slightly narrowed, eyeing him from top to bottom. "It's no fun if I just directly tell you about it," he spoke. His eyes stop to linger at Kirill's body, which immediately causes Kirill to feel very uncomfortable. "How about you also joining us this weekend?" he asked. Kirill tries hard not to show how nervous he suddenly gets. What the hell? Anyone can tell that that look Stepan is wearing is called lust. The nerve of this guy, I'm gonna bury him. Kirill cursed in his head while secretly gritted his teeth. On the outside though, he just asked calmly, "By us, you mean?" "The three idiots from before," Stepan answered nonchalantly again. This time his eyes no longer wandered somewhere inappropriate. He was looking right into Kirill's eyes with a knowing smile. The mole under his left eye causes Kirill to momentarily become stupefied. It is called beauty mark for a reason after all. He knows, Kirill suddenly thought, completely aware of the situation. He knows that I am uncomfortable. He knows that I know he is lusting over me. "Oh," Kirill replied. "What do you want from me, Stepan?" He wonders to himself. In that few seconds, being a straightforward asshole as himself, he wanted to directly ask him. But for the first time, he feels afraid of the answer he might hear, so he refrained himself. "I'll think about it," he said instead. They both appeared to be calm on the outside. They both were not trying too hard to hide themselves. They both were reading each other's thoughts at ease, only because they both allowed it to happen. There's a thin line of invisible thread between them that both pull them apart yet pull them close together. They both can't deny the law of attraction. Bad always attracts bad. Chapter 9. Away from home. A tinted black Mercedes parks by the bridge not far from them. "That's my ride," Stefan informed. The sun is setting. Kirill welcomes the darkness and loneliness. He no longer needs Stepan's company. "You don't want to leave?" Stepan asked. "No, it's okay." Kirill shakes his head to reject the offer as he pulls his mask back up. "I'd like to walk around for a bit." Stepan looks around. The darkness in Krasniy can be overwhelming sometimes. He doesn't want to lose his precious little thing to the dark. "You sure? It gets pretty scary at night around here," he persuaded. "I'm not scared of ghosts or the darkness." Kirill made a statement, which is true. Kirill was never one of the scaredy cats. He had had encounters with the paranormal before, but it never made much of an impression on him. This side of him is admired the most by his friends back in New Japan. Stepan smiles in acknowledgement, refusing to believe the truth in Kirill's words. After all, everybody should be afraid of something, right? He just thought that it's cute of Kirill to deny being afraid. "I'll see you at school tomorrow then," Stepan spoke, and he nods as he walks off towards his ride. It was such a shame, he thought. We could have made some progress in the car. "See you," Kirill replied. He is not looking forward to seeing Stepan tomorrow. He needs to find ways to avoid further conversation with the boy. Rather than ghost or the dark, he is more afraid of being acquainted with Stepanov Chenkov. He admits it now that he had underestimated the boy when he first started their conversation. With his own personality, he always thought that he is above others. He is uncaring of what other people feel or think about him. So he was always honest with his thoughts and actions. That honesty had always given him the upper hand, but not with Stepan. With Stepan, he needs to watch what he says or does. Because Stepan is not afraid of the truth. In fact, Kirill thinks that Stepan doesn't even care if Kirill were to find out any truths about him. Stepan is the kind of person that you have no handle against. No matter what information you have, you can take him down with them. Easier said, from their conversation, Kirill can tell that Stepan is two things. One, he is narcissistic. Two, he is sociopathic. And the course of action to take is simple. Stay away. Kirill watches the Mercedes drove off into the night. That day, Clement would have wanted to walk home, right? So Kirill follows the track towards where Clement was supposed to go on the day of disappearance. Home. As he walks, he tries to catch the feel, but that kind of thing comes and goes. It doesn't always come when Kirill wants to. He will be caught off guard with the feels most of the time. What he meant by feels is that he can catch Clement's memories at places with significant importance to the other. Clement also used to get these feels from him. They used to play catching the feels like a game. It was an exclusive game only for the two of them. When they were children, they used to tell their parents and others about this psychic little connection that they have, but as they get older, they no longer talk about them. It wasn't because most people wouldn't believe them or something like that. It's just that it felt more special to be known for just the two of them. It was an unspoken agreement between them. This feel is exclusive only for them. When Kirill reaches Clement's home, he stops dead in his track and only manages to watch it from afar. He catches the feels of familiarity. He can also envision the smiles of his twin brother with his mother and his mother's lover. This is the place where Clement used to sleep and hang out. This is the place where so many traces of him can be found. The feels might get intense if he gets closer. He doesn't want that. He sees his mother by the kitchen's window. He hadn't seen her in a long time. His heart aches. He hates her, but he also longs for her. As far as Kirill can remember, his mother never made much of an appearance in his life, but she was always there in his mind. Despite of him denying that fact, she is still there, and that makes him hate her even more. His mother is a female strain. Normally, there's a 95% of strain to reproduce strain children, but unfortunately, Clement and Kirill were the other 5%. She cheated on Kirill's father and ran back to her old girlfriend. Kirill hates her for separating him and Clement. He even blamed her for Clement's disappearance, even when he knew he shouldn't. After all, he needs a substitute for the blame. Someone to lash on, someone to be responsible for it all. He turns back around, remembering the flaming dawn on the day his mother left with Clement. Forgiveness is not easy. Kirill has a heart of stone. Forgiveness is out of the question. Unbeknownst to Kirill, not far from where he is, a tinted black Mercedes is parked with its lights off. "Say, Maxim," the boy with a mole under his almond-shaped eyes began to speak. The driver turns to look at his young master to show that he is paying attention. "Do you think that boy would become mine?" A charming, sinister smile appears on the face of Maxim's young master as he asks the question. At this point, it's futile to not agree with him, isn't so?